The great British love affair with train travel is as old as the railways themselves. From the beating heart of London's metropolis to the majesty of the Scottish Highlands. Connecting coast and countryside with our great cities, the East Coast Line has it all.
Disregard that, it's a glitch.
But it's the people who give life to this railway.
Come on, Frisco, I trust you.
British public are the best form of entertainment on the planet.
The East Coast Line carries 19 million passengers a year on 155 train journeys a day, along almost 1,000 miles of track. East Coast is the largest operator on the line. It runs trains, manages stations, and employs nearly 3,000 staff.
That's all you do it all day. I'm not playing with you while you're showing off.
The East Coast workforce toils tirelessly.
Mandy backs, please.
From driving trains
Look at this office window. Fantastic.
to making breakfasts
I've cooked that much bacon over the years, surprised I haven't turned into a pig.
to controlling the whole train set.
Morning, that's absolutely excellent, Graham.
Keeping everything on track behind the scenes and in public.
I've been standing here for half an hour.
These are the real heroes of the railway. As the sun sets on a Friday night, the entire East Coast train line switches to weekend mode. The weekdays suited and booted commuters surrender their seats to a diverse mix of travellers more inclined to leisure pursuits. And as the network is taken over by pleasure seekers, East Coast weekend workers face a very different set of issues.
Get audit cleaners, there's a load of blood on the top of the stairs.
For 9 months of the year, it's the football season, and tribes of fans crisscrossing the country in search of glory can bring its own challenges.
It's happened again!
East Coast trains carry thousands of fans every year, and with the support of British Transport Police, the company can employ a range of measures to keep everything and everyone in good order.
I'm on Frisco, I trust you.
It's the final day of the Premier League football season. At 4 p.m, the country's top teams will all kick off for a final 90 minutes. Today, King's Cross Station will handle thousands of football fans travelling to games in and out of the capital. With serious issues to be resolved at both ends of the table, it's a tense day for footy fans and station staff alike.
You're gone, mate.
It's 9:30 in the morning, and Alan's on duty as station supervisor.
Yankee 2-1's coming in on 2.
Football fans or not, it's his job to keep everything working like clockwork.
So it's a minute early now.
If not, there could be penalties to pay.
When they're green, that means they're running basically to time. When they're yellow, like that one there, that means it's over 10 minutes late. If they go red, that means they're really late. Every day, we have a plan for what train's going to do what when it comes in, what it goes back out. And so far today, it's going to plan. That's basically my role. I need to make sure that happens.
The first supporters to arrive at the station are the Arsenal. They're travelling north from London to watch the Gunners take on Newcastle United.
3-0. 6-0 to the Arsenal, 6-0 to the Arsenal, 6-0.
So you're in coach D, seat 33. It's further down. The letters are on the side of the end of the carriage.
The 10 a.m. departure will take 3 hours to reach Newcastle. Travelling supporters can be a handful, but they're not all as rowdy as you might imagine.
Thank you. Would you like a cup? Yes, I've got some ice. Thank you. Thank you. So where are you travelling to today, sir?
Newcastle.
To Newcastle?
See the Arsenal-Newcastle game.
Oh, brilliant. I haven't had any really bad things with football fans because I think my way of dealing with people, when I come through a carriage and they are like that, they're all drunk, right? You've got to be able to have a way with people because some people would see that and run a mile, couldn't cope with it. Well, if I see that and come through and say, hello, fellas, how you doing? You know, you're all right, what you up to, and talk to them, then it's fine, you know. Certainly, of course you can.
So far, so good. Hundreds of good-natured Arsenal fans are en route and on time. But that is just the beginning. Back at King's Cross, staff are gearing up for a potentially difficult day. And the station staff is boasted by a heavy police presence.
It's the last important game of the season for most teams. This is going to decide the positioning throughout the league.
We like to have a police presence on the station. That's basically a precaution just to make sure that, you know, nothing silly goes on. And it's, you know, keeps everybody happy, keeps non-football people happy, and it also just reminds the football fans that you know, be sensible.
While Arsenal head for an away day in Newcastle, the other big North London team, Tottenham Hotspur, are playing at home. Many of their fans live outside the capital, and thousands will pass through King's Cross on their way to the game.
We'll sing what we want. We'll sing what we want. We'll sing what we want. Tottenham Hotspur, we'll do what we want.
Tottenham are playing Sunderland, and as the East Coast Line is one of the main routes from the northeast to London, thousands of fans from Wearside are also expected to arrive in the station on their way to the same game.
Bravo, Gary to Bravo. Graham, over.
Station manager Gary is the man charged with leading the King's Cross team on one of the most stressful days of the year.
A couple of trolleys. It's got 40 odd people. You need to be quite tolerant of people in general. You need to be able to understand that people are different. I know at King's Cross we've got people from all sorts of backgrounds, cultures and so on. So in dealing with your staff as people rather than as staff, that's probably the biggest sort of challenge. I'd rather get it ball in now, actually, if we can. What? I'd rather get it ball in now.
Today, Gary's under pressure. Match days can mean big trouble, and he's taking no chances. He's called in a big police presence, and he's also introduced an alcohol ban.
About 40 or 50 on that one.
From 6:30 today, all services heading to the northeast will be alcohol-free, known as dry trains.
Well, you put these on when there's a chance of antisocial behaviour, particularly for football fans. Today's one of those days, and there's a good chance that we might get some trouble.
Believe it or not, once a ban is in place, nobody will be allowed to even carry any booze, not even in their luggage. That means a full baggage search on the platform. It also means having officers standing by in case anyone thinks they are beyond the law.
I'm pretty sure last time they were down here, the 2000, 21, 22 were all quite busy.
We are here to support the railway company. It's the Railway East Coast that are actually dealing with the enforcement. We are there to support them and purely standing back. And there are powers at which we could use if these people refuse to hand over or they're intoxicated, and we'll have to reject them from the station.
While football fans arrive at their destinations, a fan of an altogether different kind gets up close and personal with a railway legend.
There we've got people waving at you there, look.
It's noon on the last day of the Premier League football season. In a few hours, all the country's top teams will be in action, including Arsenal, whose travelling fans are on their way to see their team play in Newcastle.
So to stay at this level, the way that he dresses, that's me. Yeah? I'm not crazy, I'm not drunk, I'm just like, this is me, innit? You know what I mean? So it's all good, it's all good. You know, I'm going to Newcastle, but I'm not going with them.
Save the world, save the world.
Purple shoes as well. Just to jazz it up a little bit. So, the whole full outfit.
Hello, morning. Can I see your tickets, please? Lovely, thank you.
Charlotte, the trained guard, has seen it all before. To her, a superhero is just another paying customer.
There we go, cheers.
My friends, I'll be my friends by 5:30.
Not as cool as you, eh?
They're not as cool as me. Green with envy, that's their problem. Green with envy.
The boys may be boisterous, but Charlotte has seen much worse, even though violence on trains is rare.
I've had a few bad stories. I had 2 fights going on simultaneously at each end of the train. And one was just a young lad that had been punched by somebody because he was being too loud. And the other, I'd walked into a carriage that had just had quite a big brawl that had happened. And as I walked in, I saw the blood. And I just ended up saying to them, oh, who's messed up my carriage? And then they just started laughing. And then by Peterborough, we had the police to the train. And a few people were arrested and taken off. So, but yeah, that was a very trying day, that one.
From 6:30 p.m. today, a strictly enforced match-day alcohol ban comes into force, and certain designated East Coast departures will become dry trains. This service departed at 10 a.m., so its lucky passengers are free to make merry and drink as they please. But not everybody is enjoying their freedom.
East Coast train.
What's that?
I watched it on record because it's really been most unpleasant.
OK, the noise.
It's quiet now.
I can ask them to calm down a bit, but we do have a quiet coach in Coach B, which I'm happy to move you down to if you prefer to go down there. A couple of older ladies, they'd obviously just come along for a quiet ride, not expecting the football, and so they'd mentioned to me that they were getting upset with the noise from the fans behind. So I just offered to move them down into our quiet coach for them, which they obviously appreciated. Only takes 5 minutes, and obviously they're happy and I'm happy, and then they can carry on chanting in the other carriage. So.
Shush. Yeah. You know.
It was a bit like being at a football match. There was much singing and drinking and shouting. Because both of us were getting a headache. And she very kindly moved us to this carriage, which I didn't realise there were quiet carriages, because I'd have opted for one straight away.
There we go, thank you.
It's 12:30 p.m. and back at King's Cross, thousands of Sunderland fans are arriving in the capital for their final day clash with Tottenham Hotspur. For station supervisor Alan, it's time to face the first wave of footy fans.
We've got a couple of trains from the northeast. They've been on there for 3 hours, so I expect a bit rowdy, but nothing too serious.
Alan was expecting the Sunderland fans to be in high spirits, maybe even a little rowdy, but he wasn't expecting them to be singing Italian opera.
Come on, Solon! We are Solon, so we are Solon!
But it's not the fans on their way to today's games that are the biggest concern. It's the clowning around on the way home that can cause problems.
Everybody tends to want to go back at the same time, so it all tends to be a bit more entertaining in that sense from 6 o'clock onwards, when they all get back after the game.
We'll try to behave, but jumping about the train, probably. Especially if we get a result today, we'll definitely have a good time on the train on the way back.
And our next calling point will be Newcastle. Please ensure when leaving this service you take all your personal belongings and luggage with you, and please mind your step between the train and the platform edge.
Information controller and fanatical Newcastle fan Daz would rather be at the stadium than work. On previous match day shifts, he has been known to sneak a look at the TV.
Hey, sorry, boy. Hey, come on!
But today, poor Daz is stuck on platform duty.
When you're dealing with big, you know, like match events and stuff like that, when you've got like the big crowds, I've had instances where there's just been a sea of people on the platform, like hundreds of people waiting for one train, like the last train, and you've got to try and keep them back. You know, they're drunk and they're carrying on and stuff like that, and they just don't seem to be aware that how dangerous it is. You know, one slip and they're on the track. So then you've got to really do your job properly, and you've got to try and usher everybody back, you know, and then it's just making sure everybody gets on the train safe, you know.
See you later, Barry. See you later, mate. Today is Newcastle's last home game of the season against Arsenal. There's a lot of Arsenal fans came up yesterday and today. Some of them made a weekend of it.
While footballers from all over the world prepare to battle it out on the pitch, Daz has got his own team of tricky Italians to manage.
No smoking. Unfortunately, no.
Come on.
You cannot? No, definitely not.
That's bad. You kind of have a 5 hours journey.
Yeah, why don't they have a smoking area?
No, they used to. It's no smoking anywhere now, is it?
Yeah, but
anything with this kind of country.
What if you are traveling
for
hours?
Italy, you're not
Unfortunately, you have to have
on
a big drag before you get on.
It's clearly not the lack of booze bothering these travellers. It's the UK smoking ban and the lack of smoking area in Daz's beloved Newcastle station that's getting them all worked up.
Mom, I love you.
80 miles south, the next main station on the East Coast line is York. And here, there's an altogether more genteel visitor for information controller Julie to deal with. It's the Orient Express Northern Belle, one of the most luxurious trains in the world. It's pulled into York Station, and it definitely doesn't have a booze ban.
There we go, we've got people waving at you there, look. A few years back, we went down to Herefordshire for the day and back, and we had plenty to drink, and the food was excellent, really nice. A lovely treat, yeah. If you can see through here, look, this is the shop, and people can sit in here. People can buy jewellery and all sorts on it. Nice to see no drunks on the train, sophisticated people.
There might be no drunks on the train, but that can't be said for the platform.
These poor people that's had a nice day out to a flower show are sat eating the meal and like looking out the window at him throwing up. And I don't really do sick, so I've just kind of walked by him for now. He's been more sick, so we're going to have to go and get a cleaner to sort him out. I can't do sick, he makes me feel sick looking at it, and I'm thinking, oh my God, he'll probably end up on a wrong train, won't know where he's going. We'll go and shake him in a bit and ask him where he's travelling, but he probably won't remember where he's travelling to. So we'll just leave him to sober up a bit and get him on the next train.
A booze ban on trains heading north means a full bag search on the platforms of King's Cross.
You're not allowed to take it, unfortunately.
No alcohol at all.
It's the last day of the Premier League football campaign. King's Cross Station is quiet, but only for the time being. In a couple of hours, thousands of Sunderland and Tottenham fans will pour onto the platforms, heading home after their final match of the season. To restrict the potential for trouble, station staff and police are preparing for the tricky job of enforcing an alcohol ban. But station assistant Alan has a different problem. The train at platform 5 is already full of passengers and is ready to depart.
Yeah, I'll be coming down there.
but the driver has found a fault with the train's radio, which communicates with the signal boxes up the line and the central control room. As long as they're not working, the train can't leave.
There's nothing working at all.
Yeah, I've got it. Got it up to Brampton. Oh, mate, do you seriously want us to swap NRN radio heads over?
While engineers weigh up the option of a quick repair, Alan talks to the control room about Plan B. They have a spare train on standby.
Yeah, I don't really think we've got any choice.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to know, they're talking about a quick fix, but I'm just trying to find out. Just can you give me the arrival head code on 7?
Arrival head code is 1 Echo 11. I'm on the phone to your guys to speak now as well, and they said they need more time. Swaps from 5 to 7.
Echo the kilo over.
It's all clean, it's ready to go, it's all being clean. I've already checked that, Alan.
Right, boys, I need to make a quick decision.
They're going to try and get us transferred.
Right, it's going to change sets then, right? OK. Yeah, platform 7. Yeah, I'm going to tell the guard, all right? Dinesh, we're going to get an announcement and put everybody over to number 7, all right? We've got a failure on number 5. We're transferring passengers over to platform 7. I'm heading towards the guard now, but if anybody gets there before me, we're transferring passengers from 5 to 7.
Alan knows thousands of football fans will soon be arriving at the station. He needs to act fast to get his passengers on their way before the match day rush begins.
Get Carol to do an announcement, and I'm going to go and tell the catering crew that we're going over to 7. Jesse! This one's cancelled, all right?
Right.
People are coming off. Can you direct them to 7?
7, yeah.
Come here. Can you just stand around here? They're coming off 5. I want them directed to number 7, all right? But it is shown, all right? But if you can just look pretty, because you look prettier than I do, all right? Now we're going to try and fix it, but that takes a bit of time. It's quicker to transfer the passengers and wait for it to be fixed. So hopefully, about another 5 minutes and we'll be away with a bit of luck. But it's frustrating for the customers because they've obviously got themselves all settled down and then we do that to them. Is it your bike? Is it the bike, yeah? Last train in my shift. It's always away. Last train. Delta Dinesh over.
Yeah, I'm on number 5.
Crisis averted. Alan's shift ends on track as his final train leaves on schedule. Not a moment too soon.
If that happened tonight, that would be a bit interesting, that would. But no, this time of day, it's never a good time. But there are worse times for it to happen, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
It's 6 o'clock, and in Newcastle, the football season is over. It's been a bad day for information controller Daz. He missed his beloved Newcastle United's match against Arsenal. His team got beat, and now he has to help Arsenal fans get home.
The Arsenal fans will come back all buoyant, you know, they're Champions League now. I mean, you never know, maybe a couple of 1,000 will come back through the station.
Come on, you Gunners!
Luckily for Daz, the Arsenal fans are more interested in the fate of their arch-rivals Tottenham than celebrating beating Newcastle.
It's happened again!
Oh, sorry.
That's great, I love it.
The victory today means that Arsenal have finished above Tottenham and, for the second year running, deny their arch-enemies a place in next season's Champions League.
It's happened again! It was just nerve-shredding. you red white it.
It was too tense. It was awful. But we won in the
Nerve-shredding.
end.
But it's not all bad for Daz, because despite being beaten today, previous results mean that Newcastle are already safe.
That's it, final game of the season. I'm disappointed with the score. If you're truthful with yourself, you're not expecting to beat Arsenal today, but it would be nice to go out on a draw, you know, and a good performance. It doesn't really matter now. It's all over it now. We're staying up, and that's the main thing. We're staying up.
25 going to King's Cross.
Confined, did you say? OK, then no problem, thank you.
Relegation avoided, Daz is only too happy to help Newcastle and Arsenal fans alike have a safe journey home.
Right, you quickly jump in and stop all the other lads.
Yeah.
Hey, mate.
Take this place, mate.
I'll just take it back up there, gents. Thank you very much, everybody.
Train safely dispatched, and Daz finally has time to indulge in some match-day banter.
United score was 5-all in the end.
Sorry?
Man United and West Brom.
Was it? God, I seen it was 5-4. That's some score like that, innit? Want to watch on the TV. Match of the day, we got to meet, like.
Bit of excitement for Ferguson on his last
Aye. They did that Guard of Honour for him and all, didn't they? Yeah.
Down the line at York Station, the weekend shift begins its own brand of busy for information controller Julie.
Keep going further down past the lift. It'd be that train in there, number 1. London, further down past the lift. Anybody wait for the London train?
At King's Cross Station, the alcohol ban is designed to keep travelling footy fans in good order. At York, a booze ban is occasionally introduced to keep a different crowd in check.
You can tell when it's sun shining, loads come for the day, get too much beer in them, come back and start like throwing like the Burger Kings about or whatever about. And then you try and get them on the train. They can't get on the train because they're holding the doors up for the colleagues coming that's running late, and they fall down the stairs. That's the most difficult time.
So you've had a few drinks in there, Brett.
You've had a shandy too?
Julie has worked on the platform for 14 years, and experience has bred a philosophical view when it comes to difficult customers.
I just think you've got to be ardent to this and not like let people intimidate you, because if people start shouting and bawling, they're not shouting at you, they're just shouting at uniform. But you do get a lot of people like shouting and having a go at you, but you just take it with a pinch of salt and don't let them think that they're having a go at you, because they're not. But I don't mind them having a go. Bring it on. I can handle it.
Julie gets a call on her radio. Somebody is causing trouble at the other end of the station.
We're on our way.
The British Transport Police have an office near the concourse and have got to the incident first.
Looks like this man's over there, looks like he's going to get arrested. It looks like he's got some alcohol maybe in a bag or something. I'm not quite sure yet. So he may be kicked off or something, and that's why the police are there.
It's 7 o'clock in the evening and crunch time for station manager Gary. The matches are over and thousands of Sunderland fans are about to pour into King's Cross, where they will face an alcohol ban for the journey home.
Cheers, thanks. If someone wants to travel, they have to leave their alcohol behind. We put them in the bin and dispose of it later on. Everyone thinks we go and drink it, but it doesn't. It goes into a bin. I can assure you that.
It's been advertised for about a week.
Once a train has been designated dry, there are no exceptions, and that means everybody boarding, not just football fans.
Unfortunately, if you're not a football fan, it does apply to everybody. We don't single out football fans in particular. The same bylaws used on late night trains where we have problems throughout the country, so it's not specific to football.
We are not checking your tickets. You must not have any alcohol on you. Any alcohol on you, sir?
Over the years, station assistant Jackie has found that gentle persuasion can go a long way to diffusing potential trouble.
Have you got any alcohol in your bag?
Oh, drink.
Okay. Any alcohol on you? Okay. I used to be a stewardess of a club, so confiscating beer and telling people they can't drink is, you know, second nature, really. So, no, I don't mind. And then I know I've got all the boys in blue behind me. We're checking for alcohol. Any alcohol on you, lads?
Crispy,
No,
crispy.
I won't frisk you. I trust you. I trust you. Any alcohol? Just in your belly. As long as it's in your belly and not in your pockets, I don't mind.
I've tried.
Oh, okay. Please go through.
Thanks largely to Jackie's good humour, Operation Dry Train is running smoothly.
Okay then, that's all right.
For the time being, at least.
You can have alcohol on the train, mate.
The police have their hands full, and some passengers rebel.
It's Geordie and so on.
You haven't got alcohol. Have you got alcohol on you?
It's the end of the final day of the Premier League football season. The matches are all over. Thousands of Sunderland fans are heading home from London, and they'll be travelling on booze-free trains.
This is a dry train, so no alcohol allowed on this one.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Okay.
Passengers' bags are subject to random searches by East Coast staff, backed up by a heavy police presence.
Thank you. No alcohol on you.
East Coast trains give at least 48 hours notice of dry trains through their website and posters in the stations, but inevitably not everyone gets the message.
If they do try to drink alcohol on the train and they're caught by the police, then it's an offence under the railway bylaws. They could be arrested, charged. So it's up to them, really. Yeah.
So there's no alcohol allowed on the train?
Travellers carrying drink can either throw it away or dispose of it another way before they board.
You on this train, are you? Yeah. Fine, off you go.
Station manager Gary put the booze ban in place, and he's on the front line making sure it all goes to plan.
Have you got any alcohol on you?
We're duty-free stuff that I just bought from India.
Have you?
Unaware of the alcohol ban, this man has travelled from the airport after a holiday abroad, complete with duty-free booze in his bag.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to take it, unfortunately. It's a dry train. Where are you going to?
I'm going to York.
York. The only thing I can suggest is taking the train up to Doncaster and changing there. We could do that.
Let's just drop it in the office.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When are you back in next?
Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm working on it. So
Oh, do you?
daily commute.
Oh, I see, right, yeah. Yeah, we can't allow you to take it, I'm afraid.
No problem, I'll
Yeah.
drop it in the
All
office.
right, okay, that's fine. All right, thank you.
Most fans going to away games heed the warnings and respect dry trains, but some still try to beat the ban by hiding their booze, like this lot, who have cunningly concealed their stash of spirits. Nice try, guys.
No alcohol at all.
Wait, don't move me back.
The situation there was, I was just generally talking to Sunderland fans that it was an alcohol-free train. And as he changed hands with his McDonald's, the bag split and 3 or 4 miniatures of whiskey dropped out, much to his embarrassment, to be honest.
Anything in that bag?
Food.
That's all right.
The more experienced travelling fans board the train, clutching post-match cups of tea and coffee. With a train jam-packed with football fans, the regular East Coast on-board staff will be assisted by a heavy police presence. It's the British Transport Police from the North East who've been drafted in to help escort the Sunderland fans home. It's their job to make sure no booze has been smuggled onto the train.
Hold on. All right. So you can't have alcohol on the train, mate. So I'll have to just take it off you, all right? Yeah, no bother. Just with it being a dry train, that's all. Yeah, no worries. I'll just tip it out. Right. Oops. Oh, nearly.
How much have you won?
Nearly. Yeah, well, that's it.
First class is quiet.
I am gonna tip it out. Yeah. Just tip it out.
There you are, Scott. Well, I mean, I'm not going to bend down and get it. If you can just grab it for us and get rid of it, and then... There's a white bag down there with some cans in, so I'll just get rid of them. They're just here, mate, in the middle. Is that a can as well, is it? Just there beside you. Basically, we're doing a walk through the train. Obviously, anybody with any drink will either take it off them or let you know what we're doing. If we come back and there's more drink, then you'll be dealt with the offence, because it is a dry train and it is an offence to bring drink on the train. All right.
Yeah, it's a dry train, but I'm not like some mentalist that's going to kick off all over. I'm like 51-year-old, travelling with a couple of mates, a couple of drinks, not a problem. You know, so why should I be treated like a kid?
Yeah, because there's obviously occasions when they might fish it out the bin. Right. All quiet through there, is that? Have you been through there or? Yeah, smashing.
Give it a couple of minutes before we walk back. Gives it a chance.
There was a few with drink.
Took a bit off. Yeah.
Who tried to hide it, so they obviously knew, but we'll just give them the opportunity.
It's mainly with small pockets, isn't it? Groups, which we've had with football fans before, where we've ended up arresting members of the group, and it sort of escalates from there. Not so much with dry trains, but we've actually had, you know, like fights in the vestibule area, which is very difficult to deal with again, you know, especially on a moving train, as you can imagine. So. Everything's different, you know, every incident, you just got to sort of take it as it comes, really. It's the only way to do it.
The booze ban may seem draconian to some, but the combination of alcohol and large groups of travelling fans can lead to serious safety issues for staff and customers alike.
Football supporters are probably the worst supporters that you can have on your train, yeah. And there is teams out there that are known for their bad travellers, and I suppose that is the sad aspect of when you are having people travelling, because nobody enjoys working the trains because the fear for their own safety in a sense, and I think that's a sad environment for us to be in. We're trying to provide a service for the general public, and they're just making out an environment for people to be frightened to be in. So yeah, there is teams that are scary. And we do look at the fixtures when they come out and you think, oh God, if I can try and take a day off when they're not playing.
I think if we go to the next one, yeah, because that group that we took the drink off are down there.
Just keep an eye.
Just keep an eye.
Yeah.
We've gone down the toilet, mate.
We've been tipped out, yeah.
I was a candy live, man.
It's just an offence, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just so it's fair for everyone, you know. It's got to be the same for everyone.
I thought you had this good proper rule where you didn't get me and all that, you know.
The problem is, where do we keep them? That's the other problem as well.
Yeah.
Well, then there'd be nothing to stop you going and getting them halfway through with that. Fair's fair. I think you knew you weren't meant to have them, because obviously as soon as I came, you dropped them under the seat. So.
I wasn't a woman, but I was taking them for the bands.
Right. Hold of the bends.
Did I get it wrong there?
You did.
Yeah.
Good effort.
No bother.
It's totally insulting, because like you can tip at any time of day, all it does is drive people to like high vodka down the kegs, do this, that and the other, mix the drinks. People stack off the train worse than what you would with a couple of cans. Yeah. All I'd like is to have a couple of cans, decent drink, and that's it.
So it isn't
ruined your day. Did your team win today?
Now we got beaten. That was ruined, dear.
Who's your team? Is it Sunderland?
Sunderland, we're doing all right in the pitch. It's these that are spoiled, dear, to be fair.
At York Station, most of the weekend revellers have gone home. The last train of the night to be dispatched by Julie has no passengers on it. This one is heading to the depot overnight.
This is empty stock, it's not going anywhere. Oh, thanks. Tell me when you're ready to, and I'll ring it out. This is what takes time up. That's it, I just heard him click. Received, I'll ring it out. Not going anywhere, these girls. Ready? It's good. All right.
We've had a few excitements, I think, and a good shift. So I'm going to go and sign off and go home.
Julie thinks it's all over, but not quite.
7 to rail 3. Any chance you could get hold of cleaners? There's a load of blood all over the near Costa on the top of the stairs. There's loads. Yeah, somebody must have either cut themselves or something. It's horrendous.
With such a large amount of blood on the stairs, Julie suspects that somebody could be seriously injured and possibly still in the station somewhere.
Somebody must have fallen and they're bleeding outside down here. Yeah, I'm on my way. Oh, thanks. God, I've never seen so much blood.
Yeah, just
Oops. Do you want some more? Shall I go and get some? I've got a bandage. I'll get you a bandage.
I don't know. These lads put the pressure on it.
Put the pressure on it.
Keep the pressure on it.
That gentleman's either fallen up the stairs or down the stairs. He's very intoxicated. I asked him if he needed a bandage on his head instead of those tissues. He was a bit rude to me, so I said, well, I don't think he needed any help, so I left him to the police. Right, we'll go out and sign off.
Across the network, the stations are all but empty. The trains have reached their final destination, and another East Coast weekend is over.